Hello, hello.
Welcome back, everybody. KJ and Swales here.
In the house. Got a fresh word of the day and a fresh little topic to discuss. Just get
Something
cracking.
a bit more lighthearted, I think.
Oh, well, I mean, depends which side of the fence you're on. If you're suffering from it, it might not be so lighthearted for you. But, yeah, maybe we're on the other side where it's not so much an issue because we've seen the light. Anyway, let's talk about our word of the day, which is debt. Debt. According to its dictionary definitions, we're talking about, a sum of money that is owed or due, or being in debt, the state of owing money. And this one, which I probably won't expand on because it'll take me down a rabbit hole, but I'll give you the definition. A feeling of gratitude for a service or favour. The sentence used to pop this one into a sentence to explain it better if you needed more intel is, I would like to acknowledge my debt to my teachers. And I'm just going to leave that there for you and move on right past it.
Of teachers.
Yeah, yes, I think we definitely should. The Urban Dictionary versions of explanations for what debt means nowadays to the youngins. We've got some slang terms here like in debt, also in the hole or in hock. Maxed out, as in when a credit card is at or over its limit and you're maxed out. This other one was someone or something that ruins a good thing is a debt. Like
If you're in debt, you pretty much ruined a good thing.
Yeah.
Not being in debt, now you are.
But I think that it's being used as an explanation, like a descriptive word for another human being, that they've spoiled something so they, in of themselves, now are a debt.
So they're just walking around, they're a debtor.
I don't know.
Debtor's when you owe someone.
We've got debt it, a
Yep.
term used in place of forget it or don't worry about it. Popularised in UK hip-hop or slang culture. Just say you regret it and we can just debt it.
Oh, here's some money, let's just debt it.
Yeah. Blood debt, serious obligation, we know that one. Blood for blood. And then we've got a life debt as well, which can allegedly only be repaid by life for a life. It's a pretty tricky one to figure out how to get your way out of. It is a little bit, yes. So while we're talking about debt, just having a little think about this new form, not that new, but this form of debt that a lot of Aussies have gotten themselves into, and a lot of people around the world, with these schemes which are the buy now, pay later systems.
Allegedly a scheme.
Oh, no. I'm not labelling them scheme. It's not inverted, not doing the inverted
was a joke.
figures. Scheme's not the right word then, is it? I don't know. Maybe it is, because when I looked them up, it was found that only in the last 2 months have they actually been forced to fall in line with the ASIC regulations. So that's interesting. Side note. But
What was that you looked up?
Oh, it was just that they've been around for all of this time, but they actually haven't necessarily been attached to ASIC in the way that a company should be. Like in December of last year, they had to come up with some new regulations to ensure that these companies actually held a credit license that authorized them to engage in credit activities. Many of them, it seems, did not.
Unbelievable.
Up until
That's
that,
crazy.
yeah. So they're still doing all the things that they're doing, but they're not actually necessarily.
So they were giving
allowed to be
people
doing
credit without a credit license, or anyone regulating them on how they were to be giving this credit out to people.
It seems like that. It also seems that it's not really that difficult to get said credit licensing. When you look up what the minimal requirements are, it's be 18, have a mobile phone number, and have a debit or credit card for the upfront deposit. Even individuals with less than perfect credit may be able to qualify for a buy now, pay later plan, which is just such a trap and a pitfall, isn't it? Like you haven't
100%.
even proven that you do in fact have like ongoing income or something to be able to pay that back, but you're still allowed to participate in the program. Mental.
I think it's leading into, that instant gratification type scenario
Yeah.
with, I want it now, I'll get it now. I can't afford it, but I'll just get it now. And, you go in the shops, you want to spend $20. You don't have $20, you don't spend it.
Well, hopefully that's what what you would like to see happening, where people are conscious enough to not be so worried about what everybody else's opinion of them is because they don't have whatever that object is that they're wanting to use these programs for, but that they can just hang on a bit, work for it, and then achieve it. But we've got all the stuff happening on socials where you see somebody that you admire and they've got these things, and what they show you, of course, on social media is this hoity-toity, lovely lifestyle, and everything is all hunky-dory, and maybe you want a piece of that, and you think to achieve that you have to have these things. So you're willing to put yourself in debt to have what you think they have.
So we're sort of developing this culture where it's an instant gratification culture. I want it now, and it's just sort of leading into massive debt.
Yeah.
And
the stats are saying that as of July 2024, 43% of Australians reported using one of these buy now, pay later services in the last 6 months. That is a massive, massive percentage of people that are engaging in them. It's a lot. And perhaps not all of them are actually doing it because they're feeling like they have to do it to please somebody else or to kick that goal and get the status that they're chasing. But still, that is it's a very large number. And we're not talking about buy now, pay later as far as like you have a mortgage or you have a credit card that you're dealing with. These are specifically for the buy now, pay later programs that are out there. You all know what I'm talking about, and the key ones that we have in Oz.
We've fallen victim to it a couple of times as well, but we've learned and we've developed over the time that the only good debt to have is something that's either asset driven, where you're going to make equity, or like a business loan or something like that's a good debt to have because it's negative gearing on your tax, and
if you've got that backing of actually having planned it out, not just looking at something else that somebody else has and really becoming consumed with your desire for it, that you're not making good choices. It's a bit scary that that the percentage was so high. Particularly popular with young shoppers who use it for groceries and other essentials is what comes up when you look it up. Really popular with Gen Z and millennial consumers, much more than older generations, and women more likely to use. And I suppose that's because it's the women and those younger generations that are more likely to have been influenced from something they've seen on socials or in marketing somewhere and feel that having that item will give them some kind of joy or status or something that they're missing to find happiness in some way.
So these buy now, pay later schemes are targeted towards social media aspects, or? I
think so. Even when I go on eBay, before I've even hit any button of an object which I would like to purchase, the afterpay option comes up and it's showing you a quarter of what the price is. It's like, well, you can have it now for a quarter of that price.
What were you trying to spend on eBay?
Well, I was actually looking at Pokemon cards, and they were like $5 for these cards, whatever. But it says underneath the costing of it, it's telling you that you could buy it for $1.25, being 1/4 of the total price of $5, right? But of course, that's not how it works. It's, oh yes, today I will part with $1.25, but next week I must also have $1.25 to part with, and the following week, and the week after that. And if for some reason I don't have that $1.25, then you're going to default, and you're getting to an entirely different world of
crap. I mean, you have a look at it, and if you can't afford $5 now, so you're going to take rob from Peter to pay Paul, basically, isn't it?
I didn't buy the cards, so we're okay. Don't worry. We're not on any kind of buy now, pay later system. Paying cards.
I can give you $5. It's fine.
Great. Thank you. That's wonderful. Apparently they've been declining in the last 5 years, but they are predicted to come back up and increase again. And certainly I think after ASIC bust in and do what they need to do as far as regulating it and making there be a sort of a central point that consumers can contact for assistance if they are having problems, that will probably just cause it to be even more popular.
Are the people taking on these credit things, are they even means tested to be able to pay them back, or is it just something that's simple. As long as you've got this, you've got that, and you've got no bad defaults, then you can have it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's too many checks going on. I'm sure there'd be credit checks and things that happen, but of course, if you engage in any of those using those financing services, then that does sit on your record permanently. And should you have felt really sad one night at 2:00 in the morning and have done some kind of a buy now, pay later thing that you just simply can't afford the following week and the week after and the week after that, it's going to just sit with you forever. And when you are looking at something long-term, like these long-term goals are really the ones that I would love for the younger generation to be more excited about. Like, yeah, those jeans look awesome. I know your friends are wearing them. They look really cool. But do you need that many pairs of jeans, or can we start saving up for a home loan? Because that's really difficult right now too.
Yeah, and it's going to get worse.
We're in a cost of living crisis as far as like the ability for young people to get their own home, to buy their own vehicles and not use finance for that as well. Just to have any of those long-term things, which are not instant gratification things, you really have to slug your guts out and work for a long time.
The way we're going to do our culture now is that everything is more geared to an instant gratification.
Yeah.
Especially, like, I mean, I harp on social media a lot, and half of our podcast is on social media, but the point of the instant gratification on how many people like this and how many views has this had and how many views is, we just do what we do just because it's organic and we just want to put our voice out there and we're just having some fun.
Yeah.
But a lot of people rely on that to fill their cup and to make sure that they're happy and successful, and that's what shopping can do for them as well. And
yes.
They have this outlet where they can just get it now. It's a very dangerous place to be in.
Yeah. When I did a little bit of a search between the sort of the correlation between the younger generations and the buy now, pay later systems, it does talk about the digital influence. So constant access to tech, like your smartphones and social media, it's fostering a culture of immediate feedback and gratification where people expect quick responses and updates.
Exactly.
And then, of course, the social comparison, it's exasperating the desire for immediate gratification, according to what I'm just reading here of somebody else's compilation. It's or the Google compilation. You can see it in your interactions with people of all ages, but in particular with those from those younger generations, where they feel a genuine need to fit in, and they think to fit in that they have to have that thing. And it's really sad because all of their friends and their peer group are also thinking that they're never getting to that point of actually having genuine friendships with anyone because you always feel like you're chasing your own tail. Well, I don't have that thing that they've got, and therefore we must not, we're not aligned with each other or whatever it is. It's a little bit sad. I do feel for them. It's how they have been raised. They've had this tech their whole lives, and it's prominent, it's everywhere, and it's something that you can't really hide from.
I think what we try to teach our kids is what is a need and what is a want. So do you need it? You'd like to have it, but do you need it? And then does it fall into you just want it, or is it something that you have to be able to get by and do what you need to do at this point in time?
There's also these sort of negative implications regarding, like, if you have become so consumed with instant gratification, do you have the ability to genuinely and with confidence participate in a work platform? What is your work ethic going to be? Will you be able to see that this project requires long-term input and be able to go the distance?
Because, I mean, if you're looking at what you're spending now and it's like, oh, well, I need this now, and you're not going to put the hard works in, put a plan in to save for that environment, as far as your work ethic goes, is it going to be something like, I don't get instantly promoted straight away, so I'm not going to put the effort into trying my best at work?
Or even if you were looking at, I hope lots of people still want to be labourers. Labourers are really important in our country, in all the countries. Do these people want to be labourers and see the fruits of all their hard work when the building is completed and the project is done? That doesn't happen overnight. That is a long time. It's a slow-going thing that has to happen and unfold appropriately. All the little bits and pieces have to happen at the right times to get there, and it's just not an instant thing, and a lot of things are not instant. So I hope that they can see that there definitely is benefit in slowing down and looking for the long term, looking to the future a bit more.
I mean, for me, I find when I put myself to a goal and it takes a while to get to it, it's more rewarding at the end of it when you do finally achieve it. You've worked hard for that.
Yeah.
You've tried hard, you've worked hard, and you've earned it.
Yeah.
Not you've just put it on Afterpay and then there we go.
Well, that's right. Same as, when you're a kid, and even still now for us, like you if you want something in particular that you don't need, it's a want. It's just a want. It's not a need. You need to then be saving for it, and that's going to take time, putting your pennies aside. And as a kid, you would do the same if you wanted to buy a new pair of rollerblades or whatever it is. You're putting your pennies, your pocket money, your birthday money, whatever you've got.
To the rollerblades again.
Well, I really like them, okay? They cost money, and you don't just get them immediately. It's that savings mentality, like the culture of that, which I find to be very rewarding. And when you do finally get that thing, then you've earned it, not just had it handed
100%.
to you.
There's a lot to be said about someone's character with hard work and perseverance.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good, strong character to have.
Yeah, and certainly not saying that these people don't have that ability, but the culture that has been shoved down their throats has not been supporting them to be living lifestyles where they can confidently feel that they are still awesome people.
I think the culture's cheating you from developing that sort of...
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. Anyway, culture indeed. Vintage culture.
Oh, here we go.
We're talking about all the youngins as we do, and their buy now, pay later schemes. Why don't we talk about some of the names and the spellings and pronunciations of names versus how simply they used to be spelled? My goodness, I did a little bit of a look. Let me have a look.
You actually did tell me one earlier when we were talking about coming up with this idea, and you said Caitlin.
Caitlin, yeah.
With an 8.
Yeah.
Like a vanity license plate.
Yeah, exactly like a vanity license plate. Yeah, you got it. But it's the 8 instead of the 80, etc.
That's
and
terrible.
These are real things. And when we were chatting about it, I just hopped on the old interweb and looked up like name spelling generator. There are so many.
Go on, let's put one in a generator. Have you got a generator open?
Yeah, I do. I've got one here. Alternate name speller, and I'm just going to get rid of the buy now, pay later ad that's on the screen, hopefully.
The phone has been listening to you.
Yeah, exactly right. If I go with the name William, right, we're going to look at get spellings for William. Oh, my goodness. Okay, we all know how to spell William traditionally in the good old days. William. Normal.
Will-I-am.
Yeah, normal. The suggestion at the top here is WYLLYAM. So we've just taken the I's out and put the Y's in instead. Yeah. The second one is William traditional spelling, but just with one L instead of two. It's just going to be horrendous for any child with spelling like that. Everybody's popping the second L in there because it makes sense.
I remember back in the day, you used to give your kids short names, easy names for them to spell, not make it too complicated.
And also think about the fact that, particularly in Australia, everybody has a nickname, right? You got nicknames. So you have to think about the name and what nickname could be made out of this, and have I just tortured my child by naming them what I have chosen to call them?
I think we deliberated on a few that were like, no, we're not going to go there, we're not going to do that.
The third one for William has the singular L, and again the I's have been changed to Y's just to rub salt into the wound. Try a chick's name. Let's try a girl's name. It will go Annabelle, right? Get spellings for
Very
Annabelle.
traditional names.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually really hard to think of names. Not much came up there for Annabelle. They just took the second L out at the end. Okay.
What about Katie? We did Caitlin.
As
Katie.
in Katie.
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
The
Get
K-A.
spellings.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. Well, you've got Katey, Katee, Kateigh to make the E sound at the end. Eigh. Or Kati.
I can't believe that they actually have generators to make your name more difficult to pronounce or spell.
Yes. The poor kids. This one's shocking. Katei. So I spelled it as IE in my query, and they were just like, let's just flip those vowels around. That should about do it. That makes perfect sense. Goodness gracious.
Just imagine trying to say, no, my name's spelled with this, or like Jamie with a apostrophe.
Apostrophe M-I-E, yes.
Yes.
Shout out Chris Lilly. Dope. Hilarious. Love that. Oh, man. I'm really sorry if your name is spelled like any of those ways we just said. It's not your fault. Your parents did it. Take it up with them, okay? It's really not my fault. And I just found it on the name generator. And you can too if you wish to torture your future children. But if your name is spelled that way, we were talking about social media, head to our Facebook page and comment on how your name has been spelt and how it has been pronounced wrong. Oh, goodness.
It's definitely good, and it's definitely interesting to hear those stories.
There are also still different pronunciations that can happen with these sort of different cultural aspects, which are just cute and sweet. And it's in other countries, certain letters are said in different ways. Like in Indonesia, a C is a ch sound. So if your name was starting with a C, then that could be assumed that it makes a ch sound. So those things are sweet and wonderful. Yes, but if it was spelled with just a C and there were no H, maybe that should be in the name generator. I don't know. Take the H out altogether. Lean into the Bahasa Indonesia. Yes. Goodness gracious. All right. Well, that was fun. No meaning to offend anybody with your names. And
if we have offended you, we should just dead it.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Catch you next time. God bless. Peace out.
This content is for informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional advice. We are not bankers, debt collectors, pastors or politicians. You are not more likely to have your name pronounced correctly, suck less, or try harder having listened to these shenanigans.